everyone. Don't start that mess. Where your phone at?
Mine, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to share it from.
Don't go live, man. Like we just record regular video and post them sometime.
We are live and recording. Yes, we are.
That don't mean nothing.
Yes, it do.
I'm still act up.
And I will cut up with you. Where's your Facebook symbol at?
It's a big F.
Oh, there it is. And I'm going to share it over here. That's what I was trying to do, share it in the group. Okay, I did my due diligence. Okay, sorry for the delay, technical difficulties with this laptop or whatnot. So we decided to just, y'all won't get the full effect of both of us, but you will. Say hi, honey.
Hi.
So this week, this is segment 1. Last week was just the introduction. So I'm going to let my wife explain how it was when she first got diagnosed. Is that what we're going to go with? Okay, when she first got diagnosed.
The story time?
Yeah, the story time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do story time. Story time with Q. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So basically, she'll just let you know from her perspective. Like I said, since we have technical difficulties, we won't do it like we did it last week. It'll be kind of different, but I'm going to still try to interact with her while she's telling her story or whatnot. And so y'all could get the whole effect of that. So, without further ado,
okay, so I'm going to tell y'all how and the little symptoms that I went through before we went to the emergency room, what took place beforehand. So yes, I was still driving the truck, doing flatbed, and was picking up a load. And I remember I was scrapping down some straps, and then I was finna turn right to walk to go continue securing the load. But when I turned, my body turned, but my legs stayed straight, and something popped really loud, and I could feel the pull in my knee. And I was like, oh, okay, that didn't, feel right. But I just kept walking and finished securing the straps on this side of the truck. Now I'm going to walk around to the other side and finish securing that side. But it's like instantly the pain just came, and I went from just walking regular to limping. So I finished securing the load, get in the truck, relax a little bit because it's really hurting. Something's wrong. So I go to the truck stop and park for the night because the load don't deliver to the next day, and I'm already on my way home anyway. So I remember talking on the phone to baby that night, telling her like, no, something wrong. It hurts. And so I was like, I'm gonna get off the phone and just try to go ahead and go to bed and get up early, get rolling, deliver the load so I can come home and go to the emergency room. And so that's what I did. And so she came and got me, came home, showered up, boom, we went to the emergency room. And the doctor told us that I had I sprained my knee. So he was like, you gotta take 4 weeks off from work. So during the 4 weeks is when I started noticing the symptoms. I just didn't know what it was. So first it started out to where me just walking, I would like notice that I kept like tripping up while I'm walking. Like, do I got the wrong flip-flops on? What's wrong with my feet? So then it just became to where I kept kind of tripping, and I just started watching my feet while I was walking to make sure that I'm taking the proper steps and, you know, not continuing to trip up. And so that was the thing. I don't remember if I said something to you about me tripping up.
Yeah.
I did?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so that was one symptom I noticed, that it just always constantly felt like I was just tripping up while walking. And then another symptom that came, my hands went numb. Sort of like when you be laying on your arm or your foot or whatever, and it go to sleep, and when you wake up, it had that numb feeling, and then when you shake it, it start tingling. That's what my hands was doing. Didn't think nothing of it, you know. One day we was in there cooking dinner, and I had too much water boiling for the macaroni or whatever pasta, and so I was gonna pick the pot up and take it from the stove just right there to the sink to pour some of the water out. But when I picked the pot up, it was like I could see that I'm holding the pot, but then the pot just, I couldn't control it. Like my hand just falling off. So I'm like, baby, grab the pot, I'm finna drop it. And so she grabbed it, and then I went and sat down because I couldn't believe that I was finna drop, you know, the water. That was one thing. And this over a period of just 4 weeks, because this when I sprung my knee, it was in August. So from August to September, like it was instant. And so tripping up over my feet, numbness, tingliness in my hand, can't hold a pot, even though I know I got it. I can't hold it up. It's just falling down. And then one week I woke up from my neck down, I was numb, like all the way down, neck to my feet, I was numb. And I was like, oh, that feel weird. Let me say something to baby about it. And I say, babe, because I'm ticklish. And so she's touching me, but I'm not jumping or nothing like that. I say, pinch me. She pinched me, and she pinched me harder. I can't feel it. So that was another sign. Just didn't know what. After that, I'm Googling stuff, looking up stuff online, but it's not really saying anything because I don't know. I'm just Googling, like, what does it mean if you have numbness in your hands? What does it mean, you know, tripping or falling? What does it mean when you're numb from your neck down? It's not really saying much, so I don't know. I'm just Googling stuff. And then one time I had to go use the bathroom. And trying to hurry up and get myself together so I could sit down and use the bathroom. But before I could sit down and use the bathroom, I peed on myself a little bit. But I still made it to the commode, the toilet, and finished doing that, handle my business, and I come back out and I said, babe, I peed on myself, something ain't right, on internet. Google say if that happened, you need to go to the emergency room, but still don't know. And it was COVID, so we head to the emergency room, and now it's September, so those are the 4 weeks. And we get to the emergency room, and I'm telling them, they like, what bring you, because they're not letting us in. We had to check in outside through a tent. They wouldn't let us in because of COVID. And so we explaining to them, what's bringing us here and why we here. And they was kind of like pretty much, I think they probably was going to brush us off and tell us, would just let us know if something else worse or Until I told her to tell them, no, I went to use the bathroom. I peed on myself, like I couldn't control it. Because down there was numb too. And it's like when I said that, they told her to come on and get me out, and she go park the car, and now they just rushing to check me in. And we went straight back to a room. And maybe 10 minutes after us being in the room, they came and got me and shot me off to go do a MRI to scan for whatever they looking for. So we did that. And then we came back to the room. It wasn't even 5 minutes. Somebody else came and got me, and they took me out to go do a CT scan. And then from the CT scan, I came back. Somebody met us in the hallway, I think, and then we went and did the spinal tap. Got that out the way. But she was like, this gonna hurt. And I'm like, I don't know how. I can't feel anything, so it didn't hurt. And then we went back to the room. maybe was in there 20 minutes, and they came and got me and took me for my second MRI, but they wanted to put the contrast in it. And then after that, and I came back, that's when they came back and said you had multiple sclerosis. And I was like, oh, okay. So when they telling me that I got multiple sclerosis, I'm looking at baby, and she's understanding I'm not. The doctor's talking a foreign language to me. I don't get it, you know. And then, yeah, I just didn't know what it was. I would notice that baby would go out the room. You know, I'm thinking that she's maybe going to take a smoke break or going to talk to some more doctors or something. I didn't know what I had and that there's no cure for it. And then, too, while this is going on, like I have no, what was it, motor functioning skills. My hands was, you know, I would be finding myself holding my hands in weird positions, or they would kind of like be stuck, or I just be, it's just very weird on how this disease makes your limbs and fingertips, toes. It's just very weird on how it makes your body feel. But I do know that while baby was stepping out, that she was making phone calls to, you know, people on my side of the family and people on her side of the family, letting her know what was going on. And even though my mom and my sister called, my cousin Angela that stays in Vegas, she called. And so when she called, I knew something was really wrong. And that's when I started Googling, trying to figure out what was multiple sclerosis. And I read the little bitty paragraphs that they have. And I said, oh, I got an autoimmune disease that basically eats at its own nerves. And yeah, it's a lot, you know. There's no cure for it. And that's how we ended up here.
Okay, so I have a question. While I was going out and calling people and this, that, and the third, and coming back in and, you know, checking on you or whatnot, and then I would go back out. Mm-hmm. What made you look at me like, okay, something is really going on?
I saw you teared up. Your eyes was red, but it was like the second time that you went out. But your third time coming back into the room. Right. I can see your eyes was red.
Okay. So that made you concerned for me or concerned for you?
Shit, both. Both. Because, yeah, I'm in the hospital, but it's like something is wrong because you're tearing up.
Right.
So something is wrong.
Okay, so my backstory with it is when I was younger, I remember my auntie, my mom's sister, that stayed in Memphis. She had multiple sclerosis, and she only had one child, which was my cousin Brandon. And Brandon is a lot older than me or whatnot, but I just remember her, like, her health declining, and then she was in a walker, in a wheelchair, and things like that. And I remember vaguely my mom and my granny talking about it, but that was my granddaddy's daughter. So she had another mom, but they still kept in contact with each other or whatever. But I remember them vaguely. Oh, your auntie has multiple sclerosis, you know, this, that, and the third or whatever. And I never thought about anything like that until you were diagnosed with it. So now I started to have questions. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? So when they brought the papers in for you to consent to treatment or whatever, and you went to sign your name, and I got mad at you. I was like, babe, what are you doing? Will you sign your name right? And you, in the most sincerest voice, you were like, baby, I'm trying. And I like, what do you mean you trying? It still never dawned on me that they've told me told us that we have multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
But it still never dawned on me, what is that ensuing and entailing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Because
that was part of it.
right. And so you not being able to sign your name on official papers where it looked like a child trying to learn in cursive but can't get their hand right.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. It was bad. So I was like, oh, what are y'all?
It was bad.
What is going on here? So.
Because I really was trying to write.
And we had only been here for a couple of months because we moved here at the beginning of February
21.
In 21. And that was
September.
Late
on it. So 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, February.
So we literally came in like on fire. We were like painting the house, inside the house, getting the kids together, getting their room together. Everything seemed to be moving according to plan.
Yeah.
But hey, they always say, you were moving around just fine, nothing. But I do remember times where you would be driving because I stayed on the phone with you so much, and you would be like, sometimes my hands.
Yeah.
And that was long. That was when we were still in. Okay, right, when we were still in Tennessee.
Because I also remember the thing I used to try to explain to you with my neck.
Right, it was rubber band feel in the back of your neck. So it was a lot of different things that were happening years prior that we had no idea.
And you wouldn't.
And you
wouldn't. It don't say nothing about that.
Right.
It don't say nothing about the rubber band feeling of the neck and me driving and I'm trying to stretch my neck and I can just feel it. It's like a little rubber band or sponge. So yeah, if you Google it right now, it's not going to say anything like that. That's for MS. No.
Right, and they say that they don't because I think I explained this in the introduction last week, where MS attacks. It's like a leech. It attaches itself to different parts.
Leeches.
Yeah, like leeches.
Yeah, they do.
It attaches itself to different parts of your brain, your spine, and stuff like that. So it affects your motor function. It can affect anything: your legs, your arms, your sight,
your eyes.
Yes, it's just so many things.
Just all your nerves.
Yes. So imagine, if you will, and I always make jokes about different stuff because I don't want y'all to feel like down and sad and stuff like that, because we need all the uplifting, positive, silly stuff in our life that we can. But I want y'all to imagine a puppet and how they control the puppets with the little strings and the little thing or whatnot. That's how the lesions do to the brain. They attack certain parts, so then you can't control that part no matter what you're doing. Like even simply as walking, she literally had to tell herself right foot, left. You remember you telling me that?
Yeah.
You was like, babe, I have to tell myself right foot,
if
left.
I don't, I'm gonna trip and fall.
Right. And so it's literally.
It be like you know you're walking, but then it's like you're walking and then it'll just feel like this leg just didn't make a complete step, and so then your foot will drag and that'll cause you to trip. So yeah, you're walking just fine, and then the one will just be like, oh fuck it. I mean, my bad. Sorry, I'll be cussing a lot. Sorry.
It's
so
okay.
Your foot will drag, and so it's like that all the time. Or sometimes you just feel yourself just veering off to the right. I'm walking straight, but for some reason I'm veering off to the right, and then it's like, okay, get back on course. But yeah, it's a lot that over time that some things you won't be able to control.
Right. So they've told us, like, literally, there is no specific medication. There's nothing like that can fix it. How people would think and they would look at her and say, "Oh, she looked fine."
Yeah.
But it really doesn't have a look, per se. It's a lot of people that we're going to bring on our show after we get started more. You're going to look at them and think, oh, they look like they're fine, but it doesn't have a distinctive look. It is just really, it's something that nobody can control. They don't have a place where it comes from. They asked, did anybody in her family have it? Because they was like, oh, it could be hereditary. And I've never heard that before. But so now we're calling mom and dad and cousin and auntie, and I got everybody on the phone. I got 2 phones. And trying to figure out, like, do somebody got this great grandmama, great grand somebody? And
no, it was a mess. I think it was more so a mess calling my dad. I'm sorry, it was a mess calling my dad. Yeah, my dad drinks, so it's like, are you sure, Dad? So we try and catch him on a sober day to ask him, and he's like, no, I'm sure, So. No, it's not hereditary. It's just from the little research that I did, when you turn 40, that's when it hits you. I don't know why. But then, too, if y'all go look up Montel Williams, the black guy that had the show, I don't know what age he was when he called it, but I know he had it. And that's when after I did a little research, I was like, oh, I remember he, but other than that, it's not too much. It's just nothing. You just got to, pay attention and learn as you go. But I'll tell you this, them little specks that I used to have on my hands, they would be red. I see them every now and again. And so that's one, but it's turning brown now, so it's not. But and in the beginning I was getting them on my finger too. But those I saw one on my foot the other day, but other than that, I don't know.
Right. It's a lot of stuff. At times she couldn't walk long distances. I can't walk long distances. A lot of people don't know that, because a lot of people are new to my page or whatever, into my life. They don't know that I have a wheelchair. They don't know why I have a wheelchair. I keep that part of my life over to the side. They don't know that I have a cane. They don't know that I have all of these things, because when we moved, I made sure the house was small enough for us to get around where we need to go, or whatever, because I just felt like that's what we needed as a team of us, getting older and progressing. And of course, everybody wants a big house. But at the end of the day, can we clean this? My body is not where it needs to be. I've had my kids, our kids, my granny helping me out the bed, doing different stuff like that, when I couldn't get up to go to the bathroom by myself early in the morning. So it's been a lot on our kids. We're going to interview them at a later date, so y'all can get an insight on how it affects the family, because this isn't just her disease. And I never looked at it like that until last week when she said this is our disease. When I went through my stuff with mines, we have fibromyalgia, we have MS, we have sciatica, and all of these things I refuse to get surgery on. But this is our thing. This is us thing, and it's crazy, because what was it? About 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, my doctor was like, I want to take you to testing. Now, mind you, I had already had all of these other diagnoses. She was like, I want to take you to testing to find out if you have MS or lupus. And I told her no. I don't want to know, because at that point I was going through anxiety, depression. And I feel like the Most High put me through those things in order to prepare me for her going through her trials and tribulations, so I could be strong for her mentally and emotionally and try to do as much as I could for her. But I still don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care to know. If it is what it is, at the end of the day, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I try to take care of my health, try to take care of her health, and that's just what it's gonna be. But in hindsight, we gonna always make it happen.
Yeah, I believe we find where we at. We don't need no nothing else. No, we don't need no news is good news. My mom say that. But we don't need to know nothing else. We go work with what we have. So her fibromyalgia, what you call it, sciatic nerve, and then my MS. That's all we need. We don't want nothing new. Yeah, we doing fine with what we have. So, but yes, that's pretty much how we found out. We have MS, and I have other things that we are going to share with y'all and talk about. Because baby always asking me, are you okay? How you feeling? Or she watch me and she see me doing, like I do stuff like this, or it be looking retarded. It be looking retarded, okay?
It's not retarded, it just looks
looks retarded. She say, okay, she different. Okay, it looks different. So it's this thing called a MS hug. And it's this pain that'll come in your chest. Yeah, she'll catch me doing something. So we'll break that down at a later time for y'all.
Yeah, so on our next segment, maybe we will. And if y'all have questions or anything like that, like I said, y'all can always inbox me or her or whatnot and ask the questions or whatever. If y'all know somebody who's going through MS or has MS or a family member or something like that, make sure y'all share this post with them. Make sure y'all share the group page, the Awareness Podcast. We also the same segments that we put on here, we put on YouTube as well. It's called the Awareness Podcast on YouTube as well.
We also got an email too, right?
Yeah, we have an email. Y'all can send your emails to the Awareness Podcast at Gmail.
Is it Gmail? I'm not sure.
Yahoo,
but,
Gmail.
We can tag it in there and get better with that notification. Yeah, put it in there.
But we will talk about the MS hug and what the MS hug and all the other things that we deal with, how it make me feel, how it make the kids feel, and a slew of other stuff. So y'all get ready. We trying to troubleshoot this thing the best way we know how. Like I said, we would have been on earlier, but we had a problem with our laptop. The camera's not working, and I just said, you know what? I said we was going live on Sundays. I'm going to hold fast to my promise that we will be back next Sunday, but we'll try to not make it so late. We're trying to make it early.
We will.
We gonna get this a new laptop. We're gonna get this laptop working right.
Yeah,
we gotta figure it out.
We learning how to work it. That's all. The laptop fine. It's just us. We don't know what to click.
So until next time, we thank y'all for being here with us. We thank y'all for sharing this journey with us. And until next week, we'll see y'all later.
All right.